Kwanzaa, Kwanzaa, Kwanzaa. It's an African holiday. Kwanzaa, Kwanzaa, Kwanzaa. It's an African holiday. 7 principles, 7 days. It's an African holiday. Kwanzaa, Kwanzaa, Kwanzaa. It's an African holiday. Yes. Habari Gani.
Yeah.
Habari Gani.
Yeah.
Habari Gani.
Yeah.
Yes. Welcome everyone to the 5th day of Kwanzaa. Nia. Habari Gani means what's the news? Nia is the 5th principle and it stands for purpose.
So when you say Nia, we supposed to say what's the news now?
No, Habari Gani is what's the news.
Oh,
And you're responding that the news is Nia.
Oh, okay. Nia.
All right, so why don't we read Nia together, everybody? And then Mama's going to read her Bible verse.
Thank you. Okay, where's Nia?
The 5th one, Nia purpose. To make our collective vocation the building and developing of our community in order to restore our people to their traditional greatness. Purpose. 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 Nothing more important in life than purpose.
Purpose.
You see how all these Kwanzaa principles are interlocking. Unity. Self-determination. Collective working responsibility. Cooperative economics. And in the middle, purpose. Purpose. We will have a lot to talk about today. Mom, if you will bless us with your scripture reading.
Okay. I grabbed the Bible quick, but this came upon me.
Okay.
Psalm 23rd Psalms.
Yes.
The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside the still waters. He restores my soul. He leads me in the path of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemy. Thou anointed my head with oil. Yes. My cup runneth over. My mind. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Amen. That is one of the most important scriptures.
Yes, I will dwell in the house.
Yes, the Psalms 23.
Yes, Lord.
Yes. So that is so important. Yes.
He turns it.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
No, it's not.
Oh, you mean the Tashi?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Good.
Because I helped Kayla write the
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Hey, Justin! Yay! Justin's gonna do the opening ceremony.
What the libation?
Libations. Yes. Wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you, Bob.
No, no.
Oh, Mom, the best. Here, you take a picture. Oh, you are funny.
Yeah,
So you're going to go, Regina, Ujima, and Nia.
Yeah, you hit up with the green. And I put it over here so that it can be more stable. Okay. So that big one. Okay, tell us. Unity. Red.
Kuji Chakalia. Self-determination. Ujima. Collective work and responsibility. Ujima. Cooperative economics. Nia. Purpose.
Glory to God. Purpose.
Oh,
Purpose. Glory to God. Thank you, Lord, for your purpose.
all right.
Thank you, Lord, for your purpose. Amen.
Our fathers and mothers came here.
Oh, everybody
Lived,
comes up.
loved, struggled, and built here. At this place, their love and labor rose like the
Sun.
and gave strength and meaning to the
Day.
For them then who gave so much, we give in return. On this same soil, we will sow our seeds and build and move in unity and strength. Here too, we will continue their struggle for liberation and a higher level of human life. May our eyes be the
Eater.
our strength be the
Elephant.
and the boldness of our life be like the
Lion.
And may we remember and honor our ancestors and the legacy they left for as long as the sun
Shine.
and the waters
Flow.
for our people everywhere then.
Yes.
For Shaka, Samori, and Nzinga, and all the others known and unknown who defended our ancestral land, history, and humanity from alien invaders. For Garvey, Muhammad, Malcolm and King, Harriet, Fannie Lou, Sojourner, Bethune, and Nat Turner, and all the others who dared to define, defend, and develop our interests as a people, for our children, in the fuller and freer lives they will live because we struggled. For Kawai Ida and the Nguzu Saba, the new system of views and values which gives identity and purpose and direction to our lives. And for the new world we struggle to build, and for the continuing struggle through which we will inevitably rescue and reconstruct our history and humanity in our own image and according to our own needs. Harambe! 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 Okay, so today, when we call out the ancestors, I want you guys to pick people who embody Nia, purpose.
Yes. This was a great one.
You want to start, Mom?
Yes. W.E.B. Du Bois.
W.E.B. Du Bois.
Harambe!
Harambe! Tell us a little bit about him.
W.E.B. Du Bois was one of the first African-American graduates of Harvard University. He became Dr. W.E.B. Du Bois. He was born in Massachusetts and raised, and he was one of the greatest intellectuals of our nation. And he wrote several books. He was he did sociology research, he did historical research, and very importantly, he was one of the big leaders of the NAACP in his early years and in his later. He died in Africa because he was a great Africanologist. He studied African civilization, history, in addition to all the work he did on African Americans in this country. He helped to form many of what's called the Pan-African Congresses, where blacks from Africa, from South America, the United States, Europe, Caribbean, all gathered together. And those Pan-African credited as giving most of the impetus for the African liberation movement. And when people threw over the colonizers from Britain, Portugal, Germany, Netherlands, France, a lot of those leaders, and Nkrumah and the rest of them, came out of the Pan African. So W. Du Bois had world-shaking influence. And if you ever want to read his works, they're just beautiful. They're gorgeous. It's some of the most amazing works.
Caitlin, you got an ancestor who embodies purpose?
So now we're going to say the black.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, the whole
Black Panther Party. Yes. Harambe.
Black Panther Party. Harambe.
Harambe.
Who is that leader?
Which one? Nelson Mandela.
Nelson Mandela. Harambe.
Dr. Charles Drew.
Yes.
Oh, tell us about Dr. Charles Drew.
I don't know too much about his pedigree, like, I
Well,
just
he
know
was-
his name, and I know I went to one of his schools together.
Yes. And he's famous because Dr. Charles Drew created the blood serum.
Oh, that was good.
So every time somebody gets a transfusion in this country, Dr. Charles Drew is the reason. Oh yeah, he made that possible for people to get blood transfusions safely. And he, ironically, of course, after he discovered and created the process for blood transfusions, hospitals refused to let black people get them.
Yeah, they didn't want
They didn't want black blood mixing with white blood and all this. When black patients were. And a number of black people are dead because they give transfusions. So that's the irony of the whole story.
Dr. Charles Drew. Dr. Charles Drew. Harambe.
It's see a lot of these people still
that's
live.
way.
A lot of people still live here. Charlene Drew is obviously named for her grandfather.
Okay, I'm gonna go with John Coltrane.
All right now.
You know, John Coltrane. Harambe. Oh, I am. John Coltrane was a jazz musician who started out by hearing someone play the saxophone and decided he was going to dedicate his life to doing music. He played in bands, groups, solo, all over until finally he started making his own music. And then he revolutionized jazz when he came out with his own albums, which were like nothing anyone had ever seen before. So John Coltrane. Harambe. Tell us about Ferdinand.
I mean, in California.
Yes.
And he said it was ventilated, but his said all the men said there, aircraft just come and they had the shipyard.
Oh yes.
And jobs.
Yes.
And he said all sent tickets, they had tickets is coming. And my dad, and they passed by the school I was living in.
Your daddy,
No, my dad's brother.
Right.
And he said for my daddy, and he said, that's the way I came, and that helped me,
Right.
And my dad passed the wagon past the school, and it was full of black men. They had all lined up on the bench, the seats and on the way. There were about 6 of them anyway. I already told wow! They had on their old coats.
All
Right.
right.
Old coats. So I ain't 30 California.
So, Furman Hunt. To Furman Hunt. Harambe.
I gotta mention him. You know, we mention him almost every night. But I gotta mention Dr. Martin Luther King. Because think about it, you guys. His lieutenants, John Lewis, he would work with him under him. Reverend Jesse Jackson, James, James Foreman. Think about people like Andrew Young. Think about people like Diane Nash, who worked alongside him. Think about Amelia Boynton. Think about all the people, Julian Bond, all of these people, Ralph Abernathy. Well, he was part of the NAACP. Julian Bond was one of the big NAACPers. All of these people came out of Dr. King's SCLC, Southern Christian Leadership Conference. And he mentored all these leaders, even though some of them couldn't stand each other when they were younger and had all kinds of conflicts. But he kept saying, I see promise in each and every one. Think about the genius of that. They talk about how President Lincoln, Abraham Lincoln, was brilliant because he was able to manage a team of rivals. He had nothing on Dr. Martin Luther. Did the same thing, did it brilliant. And we are still benefiting to this day from those seeds that we planted.
Martin Luther King. Harambe.
Purpose.
All right, y'all. I need exactly 2 more.
I have one more for purpose. You guys all know her, Harriet Tubman. She had purpose. Purpose to free blacks. Purpose after slavery, fight for black betterment. Purpose. She was driven by purpose. African American women's political freedom. She had purpose. Yeah. You like Anna Cooper, love her. Purpose. Oh, she always fought. And she's from Maryland. Oh yes, Mama. She was born out there on the eastern shore, just like Francis Douglas. Yeah, right. Purpose. All the way. Because we're gonna go. It's become harder for you to go and people move around, but they have a new Harriet Tubman museum out there. We should go.
I'm gonna pour it all out to Harriet.
Okay. Yeah.
For Harriet Tubman. Harambe! All right, that's the whole cup.
Traveling, we just had a lot of fun.
We were younger. We were younger, much younger. And we
would always be ready.
all right. Okay. So let me read from the book about purpose. This is good. There's so much good in this one. Let me read this purpose. It's got a lot of good in it. Yeah. And remind DeAnthony tomorrow to bring the bin back up. Candles and stuff.
I started doing once.
He's all right.
Oh, and today when Mr. Story came to the house, it just showed you how having Kwanzaa around influences people. Yeah. When he saw the table, he said, Kwanzaa.
Oh, you recognize.
He said, that's what it looks like.
Oh,
Yes.
And he said, wow.
Oh, wonderful.
He said, so what is that for? What does that stand for? Ask me about the symbols. Yes. And he's talking about he wants to do it for his daughter. Yeah, so it's, when people see that you do things, it moves it from concept to practice, right?
Yes.
I was so tickled. I was so proud to be able to say,
Oh.
yes, that's our Kwanzaa. We've been doing it every night. So on and so on. He was just fascinated.
I bet he would.
He asked me about that buhini. When I told him it was for all the children, he just screamed. And it just talked about Kwanzaa. So that was beautiful. That was very, very moving today. So Nia purpose, it reads, the fifth principle of the Nguzo Samba is Nia purpose, which is essentially a commitment to the collective vocation of building, developing, and defending our national community, its culture and history in order to regain our historical initiative and greatness as a people. Now, the reason why it says to regain our historical initiative and greatness is because most of the original civilizations for humanity came out of Africa.
Okay.
And so much of the arts and the science and religion and mathematics and everything that we take for granted came out of Africa.
Okay.
And they got modified by Greeks and Romans, but they stole basically most of that out of Africa. And did not want to give in the initial years before racism became so stupid. Greeks used to give credit to Africa, and in fact, you weren't considered really legitimate as a philosopher, a doctor, or anything if you didn't go to Egypt and Africa to study.
Wow.
And it's no accident that in the Bible, it's no accident that Moses, of course, comes out of Egypt, goes into Cush, and marries an Ethiopian woman who was black.
Yeah.
And his first wife, he marries an Ethiopian woman who his sister made fun of, and God turned her white with leprosy.
Yeah.
For making Miriam made fun of her because she was dark, she was black. And God turned Miriam into a leper. And because Moses interceded and begged for her, he made poor children of Israel spend 7 days in the desert while she repented, and he gave her back her natural color.
Because she's been dipped.
And it's no accident that when Herod and everybody was persecuting, looking for the newborn baby Jesus, that they fled into Africa. Because back in the olden times, you weren't legitimate if you didn't have an African connection. So the fact that Jesus' family has to flee into Africa is significant. The fact that Joseph is stolen into Egypt is significant. I mean, all of these things are giving homage to the incredible history and the incredible criticality of Africa and ancient history. And so that's why when they talk about restore us to our greatness, they're saying where the world recognizes, again, the criticality of Africa's contribution to humanity and civilization. And so it says, the assumption here is that our role in human history has been and remains a key one, that we as an African people share in the great human legacy Africa has given the world. Astrology, Africa. Astrophysics, Africa. I mean, all of this comes out of astronomy, Africa. All of this comes out of Africa. The greatest library in the world. There were two of them. One was in Alexandria, in Egypt. And the other was in Timbuktu
Yeah.
in Africa.
And all this.
And
Just
all of
pushed to the
this,
side.
all this, you know, the library in Alexandria in Egypt was destroyed by an earthquake. Timbuktu, which was, they said, one of the largest, if you ever get time, just Google Timbuktu and read about this history. They say it was one of the largest cities in the world.
Yeah.
And it was one of the most organized, most beautiful cities.
I heard about
That when Europe didn't have street lamps, Timbuktu had street lamps.
Yeah.
Timbuktu was so gorgeous and beautiful. And the people were so healthy. They had toilets. They had all kinds of amenities that Europe didn't have. They had a sewer system. They had water systems. They had all kinds of stuff. And what happened, and the reason why we don't know much about Timbuktu other than the idea that it's somewhere far away, is because the Europeans ravaged it to the ground.
Oh, that's what happened.
They went to war with the people of Timbuktu and destroyed the entire city.
Yeah.
Stole what they could and took it back to Europe, but they ravaged the city to the ground. And that's why we don't know much about Timbuktu, but some of it remained, and there's a huge store of books and writings from that era, from those times, because it used to be one of the biggest, university centers in the world. Yes, and isn't it something?
Actually,
So,
in that one show about the slave, that's the college that you wanted to go to.
right. That's good. Yeah, that's true. That legacy is one of having not only been the fathers and mothers of humanity, but also the fathers and mothers of human civilization, i.e. having introduced in the Nile Valley civilizations the basic disciplines of human knowledge. It is this identity which gives us an overriding cultural purpose and suggests a direction. This is what we mean when we say we are the fathers and mothers of human civilization, that we who are the fathers and mothers of human civilization have no business playing the cultural children of the world. The principle of Neodem makes us conscious of our purpose in light of our historical and cultural identity. And then I'm going to stop in a minute. It goes on to say, this again reminds us of Mary McLeod Bethune's point concerning our current status as heirs and custodians of a great civilization. She said, quote, we as African Americans must recognize that we are the custodians as well as the heirs of a great civilization. We have given something to the world as a race, and for this we are proud and fully conscious of our place in the total picture of humankind's development. As noted above, Bethune is concerned that our purpose is derived from three basic facts. The first two are that we are both heirs and custodians, that we inherit and we have the key, right, of a great legacy.
We are somebody.
This means first that we must not simply receive the legacy as a formal historical and cultural transmission, but recognize and represent its importance. Secondly, it means that far from being simple heirs, we are also custodians. And this implies an even greater obligation. And then it talks about our inheritance, that we should never see ourselves in the eyes of this nation just as, quote, ghetto dwellers, or as people who don't quite have it together.
Yeah.
And we shouldn't believe the lies about
put us in that class.
Exactly. And you notice that whenever they want to talk about somebody poor, they go and try to get a picture of a black person.
Yeah.
When in this country, the majority of the poor are what? They're white.
Oh, they are now.
They've always been.
They always were.
The majority of the poor in this country are white people.
I don't know. No.
The majority of the poor in this country, right now, if we lined up all the poor people in the country, they would outnumber blacks significantly. Now, there are more blacks in power as a people than there are whites in power. But there are more, you know, that is a percentage of the poor of the white people. There's lesser white people who are poor than the percentage of black people who are poor. But the absolute numbers of poor, the majority of the poor in this country are white. Because there's more white people.
I thought it was more black people than white people.
No, Mama.
You know?
No. We're only 13% of this population.
Oh, okay.
We're only 13% of the population. Yeah. And people of color in general are only 30% of this population. So, I mean, 33 possibly percent. So 66% of the population is white.
Okay. I'm going back down there in Mansfield.
No. You're doing good. There are majority black communities, just like we live in one.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. Okay, so it goes on to say, and I'm going to read the last paragraph because I haven't been able to read all of these, but we have just a little bit more time today. For true greatness and growth never occur in isolation and at others' expenses. On the contrary, as African philosophy teaches, we are first and foremost social beings whose reality and relevance are rooted in the quality and kinds of relations we have with each other. And a cooperative communal vocation is an excellent context and encouragement for quality social relations. Quality social relations. You know what? I was watching, if you watch Bravo all day long.
Okay, Bravo. Okay.
The Real Housewives of Atlanta. Real Housewives of Orange County.
Mm-hmm.
Real Housewives of New Jersey.
Yeah.
Real Housewives of New York. Real Housewives of Dallas. The whatever, Married to Mix. You think all people do is sit around and fight.
Yeah.
And hate on each other.
Yeah.
And buy things. And try to have more stuff than somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
You think that's all the world's about?
That's all you can watch.
And about hating. They love to show women fighting women. Pulling their hair out. Tearing their clothes up.
We were talking about that with if we went by rom-coms, you and my mom want to get along, me and you want to get along.
Amen. Because that's what people want. But they forget that they're doing the devil's work. What did the devil say he came to do?
To kill and destroy.
Yes, what was it?
Seek, kill, and destroy.
Yeah. And to divide.
See who he can divide.
Who he can divide.
See who he
can divide.
He can't divide me. He cannot.
Who he can divide.
Cannot.
Who he can divide.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, Justin, what is your purpose? I usually mention every Kwanzaa, and I'm going to mention it and then I'll hush, is that every Kwanzaa I mention that there's what's called the purpose-driven church. Whole churches are organized around purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And people study books on purpose.
Yes.
Most people sit around and they moan about they're not sure what their purpose is in life. Period. They don't know if they're here to just eat, sleep, work. They don't know if they got a special talent. They're not sure that God put them here to have their beautiful children, that they come here to study. They're not sure. A lot of people wander, lost, looking for purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And so my pastor constantly has to give a lesson every year on finding your purpose. And Caitlin, I don't know if you've heard the lecture or the sermon. But he gives a sermon. He says, if you're looking for your purpose, then look for where your passion is. Because where your passion lies, usually lies your purpose.
Uh-huh.
And it's kind of ironic because when Justin was young, it would drive me crazy because Justin was such a brilliant writer. I mean, such an incredibly brilliant writer, but he had no passion.
Yeah.
So people can have incredible talents, but that's not their passion.
Yeah, that's your next right now, huh?
I do it every Tuesday.
Right.
What?
He does. He
I
does.
said, but I do it every Tuesday.
He writes my script, and he probably could write other people.
Yeah, that's right.
There's a whole lot of people I know who could benefit from a Justin script. Trying to have a radio show, and they need a Justin script. You could probably help a whole lot of people. Need help. In fact, we ought to do a Justin Online Productions pamphlet and put it up there at the radio studio, and so they can hand it out to people. So some of these people can do better. Their shows probably would last longer if they had you help them. You definitely do a great job on my script, and I'm grateful for it. Grateful for it. But Justin used to thought write and would look at what's happening in the world, just do blogs. He was a blogger before blogging was a thing. And he would get thousands of hits. Because people would be fascinated with his thoughts.
He created his own website, didn't he?
Yeah, he had his own website. So anyway, but that's the past. Because he's in the future and he's living his life, and now he can hire bloggers. So so that's how the world goes.
Well, I'll be his blogger.
Why would you
I'm just imagining an article like in the Flash where it says by Alice Allen West or Diagram of Europe.
I'm afraid of that. So anyway, Justin, what's your purpose? What's the purpose that you want to make sure is manifest in 2020?
Ooh, in 2020. Wow. I had an answer. Maybe 2020. All right. Well, let's go for it.
Okay.
Well, you can say your other.
Yeah,
whatever you want to say too.
I'm sorry.
No, it's all right because I guess 2021 is going to come around and it's a better purpose. So we'll start at 2020.
What day?
2020. What could we do? 2020? Well, from an individual standpoint, I wanna just reach the highest level I'm capable of reaching in terms of taking poker super serious and not just like way beyond money, just wanting to trying to get past the idea of results, because I realize that when you just make the right decisions continually, you get really good results. So your idea should never be what's first place. Oh, that's $3,000. Oh, that's what I want to win. Your idea is I'm gonna get dealt 200 hands and I want to make 200 correct decisions. And then all of a sudden you look up and they're handing you $3,000. But I want to get to the point where I'm on the level of some of the people who I read about and studied, and I want to reach that level. I feel like it's time. The training period has been years, and I think it's time to really go for it, to really try to compete against the best, and not just the best in Maryland, but the best, compete against the best people I'm capable of competing against, and try to do the best that I possibly can, and just see how far in 2020 I want to see how far I can go with that, and then maybe in years later, if I end up on an extremely high level and ended up with a bunch of resources. I told Caitlin this, that one day, oh, I think you're thinking of something different.
Okay,
But one day, like far, far in the future, when I had enough money to fund it completely and there was no worries, I would want to look into either starting, or if not starting, then helping out an existing orphanage.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Orphan.
But
That's a fascinating.
but I would have to have so much resources, and that I could never, like, if I was funding an existing one, I would never, miss a check or.
Right.
But I was just thinking about like how much good Jack does just through you.
Isn't it amazing?
Like
I just wanted to.
a lot. Yeah, I mean, imagine how much good Jack does through you, and there are other barbers that he probably knows who we don't even know about.
Yeah, he funds Eva's group. He funds them.
And that's all because he was really, really, really good at something. And then the other guy, who did Qualcomm and all the apps, he does a lot of good through others also.
Yeah, it's true, Justin.
There's I mean, if I looked up in 2022 and
yes,
by some unfortunate circumstances, Caitlin hadn't been able to fund her business.
Mm-hmm.
If I was on that next level with all those resources, instead of buying, private jets and stuff, we could maybe start the Ashay's reunification, part. Like, what if you were able to do your profit but could never get the nonprofit going? Like, what if one day I looked up in 2021 and, had the money to actually start the studio thing we were talking about with Anthony.
Yes.
So they're like, but in order to get to that point, that Jack level where you can look back and go, okay, now that I'm good, what can I do for other people who need me? You first have to become good. You first have to accumulate those resources. You first have to be so top notch at something that you acquire enough resources to then spread the wealth.
Okay.
So step one in the process of being able to help others is always help yourself.
Thank you, Caitlin.
That's really quite extensive.
What?
Yeah. So purpose. I mean, I think for 2020, one of the reasons that I'm going into like my own business is because I want to be able to help, Transformative Justice Coalition, and we're going to be focusing really on the vote and even the census, because that can't get lost. But also, especially because it's a huge election year, we want to be fighting voter suppression and stuff. So, in helping out Transformative Justice Coalition, I'm also helping out the greater community, but also it'll free me up to be able to help Latasha's organization for foster youth.
Yes.
And because they're taking their the conference I went to last June, and they want me again this June. Well, they're taking it around the country. And if I'm able to, they would pay my way to help them out. But then there's also Pierre Ellis is doing a tour on domestic violence. So he's starting that in April. And so he wants me to be a part of it, at least in DC, because he's doing a concert series with every conference on domestic violence. But that's another thing that I can go around and help out with and make cause the greater good.
Okay.
And so those are my thoughts. So when I'm talking about being in my own for-profit, it's so that I can branch out to all of these other things I'm passionate about as well, and be able to help out more. But of course, have to work on that time management.
Mama?
Oh, okay. So now what am I supposed to do?
Anything, your purpose?
Your purpose in 2020.
2020. My purpose. My purpose really is to help the young girls like Kaylin,
Mhm.
and just counsel with them.
Yes, ma'am. You're
And
good at that.
and I said, and I watch her and things that she's doing, and I'm proud of the way she, I be watching,
Yes.
and I notice that how she's conducting herself.
Mhm.
And if I see anything wrong, I try to carry myself around them
Yes.
to make her like me enough to be able to tell me when I see things that she's not doing right.
Yeah.
I don't want to be an enemy to
Right.
her, And then if I be an enemy to her, then she go out and do things to defend me, strike it back at me
Oh,
and be
you don't
hurting
want that.
herself.
You don't want that.
So that's why I try and keep the love.
Yes, ma'am.
The young people, not only her I work with, I try to work with all the young girls.
Amen.
Mm.
And the young men too.
Amen.
Because they need attention.
Amen.
Yes, needs it.
Amen.
Because sometimes you can see them getting out of control.
Yes.
You pull them down.
Yeah. He
So,
does need the attention.
Yeah, so I'm just
He
hoping.
needs a lot of guidance.
Yeah, and I know.
And people do come to you and sit in your room like Aisha.
All the time. All the time.
Me.
Me.
Justin,
Everybody.
Barbara,
Everybody for advice.
Yeah, I
Yes.
try to be.
on advice. and stuff.
That's why I try to have a good attitude.
Yes.
Not like them, if they have a problem out there, I'm mean and all, then
Right,
they think
there's
the whole
nowhere to go.
world
Nowhere to
is
go.
against them,
Yeah.
So that's why you all pray that I can keep that spirit.
Amen. And Marvin, that's Mama, that was lovely.
Yes.
We are praying.
Purpose to me is a very complicated situation.
Uh-oh. Okay.
It's obvious that I'm here to be a father and a grandfather,
Yes.
but my resources have limited me to an extent where I'm just like stagnated in one place. Therefore, the word, this purpose is me to reshape myself into something that I'm not now, and try to shape myself into something else.
Mhm.
It's way past my mind. I wouldn't know what direction to take in that. Except for pray that Lord directs my path
Please.
and lead me in that direction so I can see clear. Like right now, everything is just like a big brick wall in front of me.
Really?
And I gotta knock walls down so me to get some daylight to see me what direction I'm going in. I see the foundation that's been laid down, the path that I'm supposed to take, but I'm unable to get on that road without me either gaining more knowledge or experiencing more things. I don't know if it's time or what, but that's where I'm still at in the same position.
Yes, sir. Well, you know what, Marvin?
Yeah.
Let me give you a radical thought. You're going to stay stuck.
Okay.
If you think that the only way you can do what you need to do is with money.
Yeah,
that's
That's the only way I see it.
But it's not. It's not. We mess our heads up. That's a trap.
Brainwash.
Right. We trap ourselves.
Well, you know
by
what, to
thinking
me, though, I've
that
been
we
here
can't
quite a
do
long time, and I
things
see that
without
if you
money.
don't have no money, don't nobody want to have nothing to do with it.
So yeah, but that's true
Yeah,
for a
but that's
lot
the
of
truth.
people.
That's
But
a
let
true
me tell
fact.
you something. If you got up in the morning and called your daughters and just said, "I want to tell you I love you this morning," that's more than any money
Well, I
you could
tried
get.
that too.
But you can do that. You can do that.
Yeah, I have tried, but
No, I'm just saying you can keep doing it.
yeah.
It doesn't mean everybody's got to say, "Oh,
She trying to take it, but make you feel good.
No. I'm just telling them there are things you can do that money doesn't matter. Money's not about everything. People get this so confused.
Okay, so the point where you're talking about now, I was just talking to Sharon, I think it was this week.
Yeah.
When she had, what's her name, Navirica in the car with her. So I had a conversation with Navirica, told her that I'm her father, that she could call me sometime. So I told her, looked like when I had that conversation with her, things got worse than it was, as though, she made the problem worse. Because I would like for me to call them or they call me and show interest.
But Marvin, the nature of human beings is that things don't always go up and up and up and up. We go zigzag. We go back and forth.
Yeah.
That's our nature. And just like with God, that we keep our faith with Him when we're in the best situation, that we keep our faith with Him when we fall to the lowest. The same is true with your kids. They're gonna be where they're saying, "I love you," and kiss my ass the next day.
Yeah.
That's just the reality. You cannot say that then you stop. You keep going with them because it's the long distance walk you do with them that's going to mean the most to them. You know, don't get hung up on this thing about money. Okay, got to Natasha Love tonight. Everybody got their thing? Everybody got their code?
Yeah, I got mine. Y'all got
Okay, we got
those?
1 minute. Got 1 minute. Everybody ready?
Oh, it's fine for it then.
It's on
Okay.
me.
Yeah. You know what?
Okay. Everybody ready?
Okay.
All right. Farewell statement. Natasha Love. Strive for discipline, dedication, and achievement in all you do. There's struggle and sacrifice and give and gain the strength that comes from this. Build where you are and dare leave a legacy that will last as long as the sun shines. And what? Practice daily. Umoja. Uchichakasia. Ujima. Ujama. Nia. Kukuba. And Imani. And may the wisdom of our ancestors always walk with us. May the years end feed us, laughing and stronger. May our children honor us by following our example in love and struggle. And at the end of next year, may we sit again together in larger numbers with greater achievement and closer to liberation of high level of human life. Hooray! 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 Kwanzaa, Kwanzaa, Kwanzaa. It's an African holiday. Kwanzaa, Kwanzaa, Kwanzaa. It's an African holiday. 7 principles for 7 days. It's an African holiday. Kwanzaa, Kwanzaa, Kwanzaa. It's an African holiday.
Mom, you gotta say something to them.
The last word to the people. All right, hold on. Let me bring the people over there.
You know,
Oh, and we do have a comment. Vinny Cola says, uplifting and empowerment through positive support. Wonderful.
amen.
Vinny Cola.
Well, to everybody watching and who may watch this video in the future, this is our 5th day of Kwanzaa that we have celebrated, and it is our Day of Purpose celebration. And I want to say something to everybody. You know, in 2019, I started the year off, talked in my head, thinking about what I didn't have, the money I didn't have, the things that were wrong that I couldn't pay for, the things I wanted. And you know what? God told me that I had more than I thought, and told me to stop looking for the things that I could buy, and instead to look for the things I could do.
Yeah.
And He helped me to reorganize my head. The most important thing I did this last year it wasn't getting money, because I didn't get that much money. Yeah. I've had a lot more money in my life per year in income. So that wasn't it. It wasn't, what He did was He gave me a new mindset. I was able to look at myself and say, put your closet together so you can enjoy the stuff you got in it.
Yeah.
Put your bedroom together so you can enjoy your bedroom. Pay the man $300 so he can pay front of your house and you don't have to look at that horrible looking front. Blacken your driveway and take care of the holes so that you don't have to deal with that problem. Do these things. Take a little bit of money here and there. Take a little bit of what you got and do something with it. Stop thinking thousands. Stop thinking millions. Stop thinking all of this. Take what you got. Take your learning, your spirit. Use what you got.
It's like the woman in oil. She was praying and saying that she didn't have anything, and God told her, okay, go to your neighbors and get all the jars you can and fill them up with oil. And after it's done filling up with oil, then sell them, and whatever you have left,
yes.
That. So she was taking what she got and using a sense of community.
Because she said, all I got is one little pot of oil.
And he said, that's enough. That's enough to work with.
And he multiplied it. And people do this all the time, that we sit around, we look at ourselves and we look at what we don't have instead of what we got. Because God's given us everything we need inside of us. Everything we need. And we do what you call, we discount, we denigrate, we downplay, we don't respect our own gifts. And we do it all the time. And I'm so glad that Caitlin did something for me this year. She didn't do it for me, but she did something that really touched me. She didn't do it for me. She didn't do it for you. She didn't do it for Justin. She didn't do it for anybody. She did it because it was the thing that her heart told her to do. She joined church. And that didn't take a dime. Not one dime. Not one dime. Not one knew this, not one knew that. It took the faith to stand up and walk down the aisle. It was the most beautiful thing. One of the most beautiful things she's done. So people don't understand that, Jesse Jackson today picked up the phone and called us. Yeah. He didn't send money. He didn't. He just called and made Mama grin and laugh and get out of that bed and crack up, and he joked. It was just a pleasure of talking with him. We forget that joy comes from those who are around us and who we love. And we can sit around and be depressed all day thinking about what we don't have. And I can depress myself to death thinking about what I don't have. But God constantly reminds me that you're sown in the vineyard, Barbara. That you're sown in the vineyard. You planted your seeds. And they're going to continue, the crops are going to continue to grow. Even if people try to scatter it to the wind, the crops are still there. They can't get rid of the seed. And when I see Justin sitting beside me at Kwanzaa and leading Kwanzaa, that's a seed. Yeah. That's a seed. And when I see other people enjoying it like Vinny and other people, that's a seed. So it doesn't, I want all of us in 2020 as part of our purpose to look at ourselves and know that we got riches inside of us. Yeah. And that part of the beauty of our lives are bringing those riches out. And not to get trapped in the mindset of, I don't have nothing. I can't do nothing. I'm stuck. I can't do anything because I don't have money. Because money's, I tell you folks, John Lennon would have given every dollar and dime he had to live. We've seen people with wealth immeasurable die. We've seen people with wealth immeasurable die. Michael Landon died because there was no money to pay for his cancer that could overcome his cancer. There are people in the grave who took millions of dollars, left millions of dollars, who would have given every dime of it just to live. Just to live. So every day that we go, every day that we inhale and let out a breath, every moment, that's riches. Riches. Being able to rest. Our pastor spoke about the beauty of rest and how God wants us to sleep and not be worried, because he wants us to be able to sleep and not be worried, because we all should know that he's got us. Yeah. And that while we're sleeping, he's working on our problems. Oh, but that's the kind of confidence we should have about our faith. Yes. That while we're sleeping, he's working on our problems. Today I had a headache. And I was trying to deal with something, and I was dealing with a headache, and I just said, you know what? God's going to take care of it. I don't know how, but he's going to do it.
Well, Keith Montgomery messaged me the other night, and he's like, he said, you always have so much going on because, he's my partner in KWS.
Yeah.
So it's, really going on and stuff. And he's like, but I never see you complain.
Amen.
And I said, well, that's because I got a roof over my head now. I ain't home to see you. We talk about you don't have to stay up for 3 days, and you got a bed to go to. Like, what? It's all up here from there.
My property assessment came today, and I'm glad it came today. It came at the right time. Texas. To tell me how much our home is worth. And it reminded me, you sown well. You invested well. You did righteous with your money. You invested well. Not only did you create an investment, but you got a house that you enjoy.
You enjoy it. Yeah. Because some people stuck with something they not pleased.
And we enjoy them. We enjoy them.
Still paying them.
And we're enjoying it.
Happy.
And we're enjoying it.
Yes.
When I went with Mr. Story today to buy the lights, the new track lights, you guys, that wasn't thousands of dollars. We took the new cut good stove, that wasn't thousands of dollars. But look at how much happier it makes you.
Yeah.
You know?
You got to keep up your profits.
Yes. You got to invest. When I could be sitting up and being all sick, oh, I don't have money to build a swimming pool. Oh, I don't have money. I could do that if I was foolish. If I were foolish. But instead, I'm like, thank you, God. Thank you for what you've done. Thank you for what you're going to do. Yeah. Thank you, God, because the blessings that flow from you are overflowing. And I have no doubt about the abundance that you have. So, oh, isn't he good? Yes. Isn't he good?
And I think this song covers it, because I thought about it when Marvin was talking.
Yes.
Trust in the Lord, lean not on your own. All of your ways acknowledge him. He'll make your path straight. When you trust in the Lord, lean not on your own understanding. And all of your ways acknowledge him. He'll make your path straight.
He'll make your path straight. All right. That's beautiful. Did you write that?
No. It's a song.
Okay.
I did not write it.
That was pretty. That was a perfect song. Yeah. And that was a purpose song. And that song speaks to purpose too. That's a purpose.
Ain't that what I was saying? But Barbara made it sound like I was saying money.
You said you were stuck.
I was trusting in God for him to direct my path.
Yeah.
Not to let me lean on my own understanding. I do what God said. When you went back to saying that I need some money,
When you said you were stuck, you said you got a big wall. You said you got a big, all you see is a big wall in front of you.
Yeah, big wall, because that's why I said I want God to knock that wall down and direct my
because he'll destroy that.
Yeah, so he could tell me, didn't hear what I said, so God could direct my path and don't let me lean on my understand on my own understanding, but I don't understand
I like
what
that.
to do. I want God to direct my path.
I got that.
But it turned into something about I want some money.
Well, anyway, all right.
I want some money.
Well, I'm glad we get some clarity. I'm glad we get some clarity. Thank you, Marvin. Thank you, Marvin. Oh, no. That's why it's important to talk. Oh, one other thing I want to say to the people, you know, don't ever give up on your purpose.
Yeah.
Because I meet people every day who come up to me and say, I wanted to be X. I used to do Y. I was happy when I was this way.
Yeah.
I know, you know, and I'm just dragging right now.
Yeah.
I feel sometimes like I lost my way. Don't lose your purpose, people. Write it down.
Yeah.
Put it up. You know, I'm sorry, but my bedroom, on my door, I got things that I post on my door. Sayings, list of things. I post things on my door. It's good to keep purpose.
Remember, Jessica Barker says that she has her mantras that she posts around.
Yes, you have to, because you got to reinforce it. It's so easy to lose it. Oh my gosh. I know people who said, oh, I'm going to be a lawyer, but before I go to law school, I'm going to go work. 35 years later, what happened? Didn't I mean to go to law school? It happens that fast. Getting diverted from your purpose can happen so fast. And people will talk you out of your purpose. If I had, talk about money, if I had $1,000, every time somebody told me I was wasting my time doing civil rights. In 1980, I kid you not, 1980, how many years ago was that? 1980, how many years ago was that? 39 years ago. The Supreme Court decided a case called Stocks. That was an anti-affirmative action case. It's now not even studied. So minor. But when that came out, people walked in my office at Legal Services of North Carolina, because I was the affirmative action director, and told me, you might as well pack up your bags, because it's all over. This is the end of civil rights. This is the end of affirmative action. It's over. They said, no, Marvin, I'm not kidding. They said you need a new career. Because this one's over. There is no work to be done anymore in civil rights. In 1989, the Supreme Court, the year I moved here, my little 2-year-old baby, the year I moved here, my little baby still was stroller. The year I moved here, the Supreme Court issued 11 devastating civil rights decisions. Destroyed the area of employment. I went to speak to lawyers in Massachusetts, to a meeting of lawyers, and half the lawyers said, I'm quitting. I don't want to be an employment discrimination lawyer. There's no way to make a living after what the court has done. This field is over. It's done. Mama, We fought. Wade Henderson, Ralph, all of us put our hands together and we battled. Judy Lickman, Marcia Greenberger. Oh my gosh, so many of us put our hands together and we battled in the Congress and we overturned 8 of those Supreme Court decisions and got a new, what's now called the Civil Rights Act of 1991. We fought and we got a 1990 bill and Bush vetoed the bill. He vetoed the bill in 1990 and people said you might as well go home. You're not going to get a bill passed. And we came back next year, we fought. And we got the Civil Rights Act of 1991. You see, people are always telling you what they're limited, myopic means a limited scope like this is all they see in the world. Is all they see in the world. Their blinders are on, and this is all they see. They don't see all of this. And they don't understand that even with everything we can see, that God sitting in his omnipotence and sitting in his omnipresence, that he's sitting in the what? Sits in the past, the present, and the future simultaneously, all at once. His vision is that way, that he's watching like this. He's seeing all of it at the same time. Seeing all the way back. Yes. All of us in the present. Seeing all the way into the future. That is, he sits there in his omnipresence, as it's called. But his omnipotence, his all power in his hands. As he sits there in his omniscience, with all knowledge in his being. That he can see beyond anything we can see. We have nothing comparable in the human existence for what he is. That's why he's God. And that's why I know that even when I can see a vision, I know it's just part of something.
Yeah. Never could see all.
Exactly. I know it's just part of something. Kim said to me the other day, my friend Kim Crenshaw, and I can say this on the air. Kim Crenshaw and I met in 1981 possibly. And she was a college student at Cornell. And Kim came up to me and said she arranged for me to come and speak, to be their college speaker. Yeah. And I was the first woman that ever brought in to speak for their Black History Month. Yeah. And she arranged for me to be the first Black woman. And afterwards, when I finished speaking, she came up to me and she said, I'm going to be a lawyer. And I believed her. And she said to me the other day, we were just talking, we were working together, we've been, all these friends all these years. And she said, who would have thought that we, from that meeting, what, Justin, 39 years ago? Wow. For that meeting 39 years ago, who would have thought that we would be the kind of friends and colleagues we were? Yeah. And I said, I know who did. I said, God has a sense of humor. I said, he was laughing when we met because he knew what was coming. Because he's already seen it. And I said,
just like when you were speaking at the one college or university, and
go
then
ahead.
One of the students, well, I don't know the full story, but you can say,
go ahead.
One of the students came up to you and said, that case you were talking about, I lived in that neighborhood. I was just a kid. Thank you.
Yes.
All the way here in DC.
Yes. You never know. You never know who you're touching. Right. You just never know. And you don't know who you're influencing. And that's why we have to strive. That's why, yeah, because it's easy to be wrong. It's so hard. It's easy to lash out. And I used to lash out so much. And I thank God that He's given me a new spirit.
Yes, Lord.
And He's given me a maturity. He's grown me. And I thank Him for that. But at the same time, I never lost my praise. I have not lost my righteous indignation at injustice. Never will lose it. Never will make that. Never. That will always be. Fighting against injustice will always be my purpose.
Yeah.
If everybody says, "What was your mother's purpose?" You'll say she was clear. Just when your grandchildren say, "What was grandma like?" You'll say she had purpose. She knew that she would fight injustice. She fought for voting rights. She fought against voter suppression. She said she would fight against it as long as she had breath. No doubt. No doubt. So all I say to people out there, don't lose your purpose. Reinforce your purpose. Be around positive people who see and understand what you're talking about when you talk about your purpose. Pray on your purpose. Work on your purpose. Dedicate yourself to pursuing your purpose. Don't let it go. Thank you. Be blessed. We will see you later on today as we do Kwanzaa.
And don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And thank you to the one person who has already liked it. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.